Oh, Bill.
Oh,
Hello.
hi.
Oh, hi.
Ron. Welcome.
It's
Oh,
lovely to be here.
yes.
And there they are,
Oh, look.
the cast of Rent.
The cast of Rent. One of somebody's favorite show.
Never going to
Not
be
my
one of
favorite.
mine. But ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to the world out there. I am John Kenrick, theater historian, and
I am William J. McKay, equity actor, not nominated for a Tony Award.
we welcome you to our Tony Awards after party for 2021. First of all, I would like to toast any and everyone who managed to get through these gosh darn 4+ hours and still be breathing. It was an accomplishment. So to you, Bill, to anyone watching this tonight and in the future, bravo.
Is that really champagne?
If you think that I was going to waste real champagne
Okay.
on a fake Tony Awards, this is Wegmans Diet Ginger Ale from the bargain aisle, honey.
Okay.
Which
Now,
is about what this Tony Awards was worth.
I obviously have my sound off in order to listen to you.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're doing the America song up there. Can you hear? Don't. It's okay. We'll watch it later.
Yeah, that's the one
in America, right? Yeah. Okay.
Which is about.
By the way, this is my wedding shirt, the tuxedo from my wedding.
Very nice.
It still fits. In fact, it's a little big on me.
Well, go right ahead.
I am proud.
Brag.
Thank you.
This is just a little something I saw in the window and couldn't resist. No, it's no big deal. This is just what I've had for years for little mini formal occasions.
Well, you have a whole set design thing going on.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I only want to
Tony's.
I only want to start. I think, by the way, it should be ending now. Hold on, because
they're going to have another duet. Watch. They're going to
another duet
over time. It's going to be ridiculous.
Well, it's because
there's
another one coming. Hold on.
There's nowhere near done. Are you kidding? It's not midnight.
Oh, they're going to do something from Ragtime.
Yes, Audra gets her moment. Okay.
What I wanted to say is, so normally we would be watching the Tonys for 2, maybe 3 hours on CBS.
Right.
That has pretty much been the case for most of my life. I think one year there are a couple 2 hours on PBS and something like that. And so this year, CBS and the people that take care of the Tonys decided to do something different. And I would really like to give them a special applause for the work that they did this year in absolutely making it impossible for the average public to watch a show that they need to be seeing. So
you had a hard time with it, huh?
Hours, they put it on Paramount TV, Paramount Plus. I would bet their ratings tonight will be less than 1%. Having nothing to do with how difficult it was for me to get onto Paramount, even though I've had it for a month, strictly for this award show. We had to quickly get it fast again during the Tony Awards. My husband got it on his. Then we got it onto our laptop, which we got it onto our TV. But what I'm really getting at here is how wonderful that almost no one will have seen the 2 hours of the Tony Awards, all the awards.
For those who are watching who never got to see those first 2 hours, we're going to give you the dope on all of it.
Then the show itself, the CBS show, which was okay, meaning I'm not going to totally knock it. And there is a certain, it wasn't horrible at all. But I just, nobody sees who the actors were or the actresses were or who the writers were. I just really, CBS, shame on you.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this much. They did manage to keep things brief. If it hadn't been for all this nonsense and falderall, they could have gotten the show over with in time.
Remember Big Brother? Big ran over, but Big Brother only ran over 1 minute, or maybe 2.
And we're already 5 minutes overtime on this.
Right. But although I have a feeling these numbers are good, so when we turn off, when we can watch, we're probably going to like this part of the show.
Of course, it'll be all over the internet tomorrow. They always make sure it's accidentally out there somehow. So
legally,
let's take a look at the show as it ran tonight. Um, the Paramount Plus segment began with a reunion of some cast members from Hairspray. To which I say, where the hell was Harvey? How do you have You Can't Stop the Beat without the climactic appearance of Edna? It's insane.
Was who were the other people? I actually am asking you because that was the period of time that I was fighting with Paramount to get to watch their show because they
The
had
opening
put this
number
on
had
their
every other soloist from the original cast doing their part of You Can't Stop the Beat, from the original lead to the original Motormouth Maybell. So
Oh,
they were
very nice.
all there. But Motormouth Maybell was where they called a halt. There was no you can't stop my fork when I find a Christmas ham. It wasn't there, which was, I thought, a shame. The first
Really, John,
major award of
you're
the
just
evening,
wasted.
I don't know if you missed the first major.
Oh, John, wait a second. Just want to tell you that because we're not watching live, we're going to miss
We're going to
Lin-Manuel
miss
Miranda and the
Lin-Manuel
cast of
Miranda and the
Lisa.
cast of Freestyle Supreme. Yeah, right. I'm sorry, I'm not a rap lover. I love Lin-Manuel, but
And
that'll
they've
never
both
be
been
my
on
thing.
twice so far tonight. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, isn't that lovely? When you're the god of the moment, you're the god of the moment. So the first major Tony Award of this year went to, of all people, David Allen Greer for his performance in Soldier Play. I was delighted to see a Tony go to the man who played Antoine Merriweather in those Men on Films routines years ago. He is a fine actor. It was his fourth nomination, and he won. Just as much fun. Danny Burston.
Wait, hold on. I just want to say, because I think we're allowed to do this. I really was rooting for the professor in Inheritance. That was my choice. But it's very important I say this. I didn't get to see A Soldier's Play. So it's not fair. In fact, the only play I saw play was Inheritance, which was amazing. But I saw none of the other nominees. And that is simply because, for people who are watching this or who may watch this years from now, this is the year of the pandemic. So Broadway had been closed for about 18 months. These Tony Awards are way, way overdue. John and I will probably have a discussion about whether or not they should even have had them. But, for those who are watching long time from now, it has been a long, long haul. So that is why it's a weird night with all of this. And normally both of us would have seen more.
God, yes, we would have seen.
Well, you saw nothing, right? You saw nothing.
I saw practically nothing.
Right. You saw nothing.
Certainly not of the plays.
Right.
Now, Danny Burston. I have chatted with Danny. He is a sweetheart. Not only is he a Broadway veteran who's been wonderful in everything from Drowsy Chaperone to when he stepped into My Fair Lady in the late part of the revival's run 2 years ago.
Fiddler.
But Fiddler,
South
when he
Pacific.
played Heavy, of course, South Pacific. But here he
Follies.
is as the sort of ringmaster in Moulin Rouge, and he picked up the Tony tonight for Best Featured Actor in a Musical, and got to say a few words about his late wife, the wonderful Rebecca Luker, who died of ALS this past year, and it was a lovely tribute, just beautiful. Lois Smith got Best Featured Actress
and a member of the Actors Studio, so that was kind of nice. Yes,
she is according to one source, and I can't say I verified it yet, she is the oldest actor ever to win a Tony Award. She is 90 years old, so she won it at 90. Go girl, go girl. And she's been nominated multiple times before as well. So this was a lifetime moment. It was a great thing for her. Jagged Little Pill winning featured actress. That award went to Lauren Patton. First of all, I want to compliment her on borrowing a costume from Beetlejuice.
I knew you were going to say that, but my husband
to give a
said
boost,
it too.
To another show. There's a lot of controversy right now about Jagged Little Pill. We're not going to go into that because I think that's a discussion in itself.
Then I do want to say about Lauren Patton. I don't want to cut you off though, because I don't know where you're going to go. Okay,
go ahead. If there's something you want to say, then we'll go there.
I did see all the musicals last year. I don't know how I managed to do this, but I did. And in my lifetime, John and I, when we were planning to do, not tonight, when we were planning to do the series, one of our topics was going to be true showstoppers. And we already had something that kind of covered that. But when a show totally 100% stops dead, and she accomplished that. I'm kind of thinking in my life, have I ever not seen one that was staged that way? You know, Hello Dolly counts differently, but if she didn't win, I probably was going to storm, you know, something, because it really, truly amazing. It is a FU number about breakups, and I don't know what happens, but the audience goes nuts, and it isn't just the staging, it is her. So she truly stopped the show, and I'm very glad she won. Very glad she won.
Now, Audra McDonald, absolutely dazzling. She was marvelous as the hostess for the first 2 hours.
Fun. She was better than I thought she was going to be. Not that I'm putting her down in any way, shape, or form, but I thought, well, what's she going to do with it? She was light and airy and fun and yada, 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 yada. The same didn't get to sing.
She was so natural. Her natural sense of humor wound up being just as entertaining as anything that could have been scripted or prepared otherwise. And I want to give a little shout out to whoever designed the sets. Those footlights are fantastic because they are replicas of Tony Awards. And they've never done that before. That was a lovely, lovely touch for this year's ceremony.
I want to also say, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, we're sort of breaking this thing down, but we will reach points where I'm sure either one of us will go off into a screaming match of some kind. But wasn't it nice for the first 2 hours, in other words, the Paramount Plus part, where the presenters weren't CBS television stars or movie stars that maybe had done a Broadway show or thought about doing a Broadway show? They were Broadway stars and Broadway performers. And there's a difference. Sometimes you're not a star. You just get to, you know, just a performer. And it was very, very nice. You usually don't see the past winners coming in there. You just don't.
Yeah. And there was a lot to like about this telecast tonight, so don't get me wrong.
The first 2 hours we're talking about, right? We're on that part right now.
Oh, yeah.
And no commercials was nice. Yes, they had some Paramount commercials, but it was nice not to have many commercials.
They kept it very brief. And I want to say how great it was to see the Tony Awards back in a Broadway venue. I get so tired of it being either in the Beacon, which is a concert venue. It's huge. Or in even bigger concert venue, Radio City Music Hall. Radio City Music Hall is where you go to see the Rockettes at Christmas time. It is not where I want to see the Tony Awards. Yes, it means they can sell more tickets and raise more money for the American Theater Wing, which is a charity, but great to see them back in, and of all theaters, the Winter Garden. I don't think the Winter Garden has hosted the Tonys since the 1970s, when they did an entire episode, entire installment of the Tony Awards that paid tribute to every musical that ever played the Winter Garden. And that was quite a list to go through, including
West Side Story and Cats.
West Side Story.
Do you know the show is still going right now? Holy crap. It's 11:14. I mean, the last award was half an hour ago.
They are out to give the Academy Awards competition this year. That's all I can guess. The designers who won awards for sets and costumes, most of them couldn't be bothered to attend the ceremony.
Oh, okay. Now here, wait. I do not know, but I'm thinking possibly, because this is what happened is that kind of surprisingly, A Christmas Carol, which was kind of I don't want to say innocuous, it only ran at Christmas time. I remember walking down the street, and I know my theater, and turning to my husband and going, A Christmas Carol is running? Who's in A Christmas Carol? And it did have a lovely cast. And I thought, oh, okay, Christmas Carol is on. It won tonight. Lighting, set design, score. Costumes. We'll get to that in a minute. Sound,
costumes too,
and costumes. Okay, which is a lot. The only thing, John, I can think of, there's two things that cross my mind. Is A, they might have thought we don't stand a chance. What are we doing? But I was thinking, isn't this a British production? And quite possibly they didn't make it across the pond.
It did not have a truly British cast because, after all, the star was the son of George C. Scott and Colleen Dewhurst. So that's as American as you can get.
And it also had in it, forgive me, she won the Tony for Pippin as Granny. The last
Oh,
time
yeah.
swung a little bit on
Yes,
the.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Oh my God.
I know,
Oh,
I
I
know.
hate when things get stuck.
Correct,
I'm
but
hearing an A. I'm seeing
yeah,
a letter A.
she
All
won.
right.
All
All
right, I'm
right.
gonna turn
Yes.
off my TV now because it's finally over.
It's finally ending. All right. Let's carry on. Um, Jennifer Nettles. I thought she did a lovely job.
You
Lovely job.
just skipped. Hold on, but yes, yes, it was simple and plain, and yes, and what is? I already know the answer to this, but what is Jennifer Nettles about to do?
She's about to take over the lead in Waitress.
She's about to be Waitress,
But
and I would have
instead of
thought.
doing something from Waitress, she surprised everyone and did a number by Stephen Sondheim, Anyone Can Whistle, and in a gentle sort of countrified arrangement, which was quite lovely.
But hit
Um,
the right notes and stuff like that. I do
mhm,
have a question for you. This is not to stump you at all, and I
right.
meant to look it up, but I've been so busy. Again, I'm not trying to stump you.
Mhm.
Townsend, who won for design of something, and I'll look it up. Is he related to Pete Townsend?
I have no idea.
Because he kept thanking his mother for playing that, and I was going, "Are they related?" We meant to look it up. My husband and I both commented and said, "Is he related to Pete Townsend?" Um,
It's possible.
okay, go on.
One
Did he
does
write the
not know.
score?
Stephen Daldry got Best Director for The Inheritance. Wonderful director. So glad to see him win. I did notice throughout both parts of this telecast, they kind of tried to do an even more extreme version of what the Emmy Awards did a couple of days ago. Namely, they had blacks do a lot of the talking and singing while whites did almost all of the winning. Now, you can get angry at me for noticing that, but it nevertheless is something I could not help noticing. Um, the If you saw the Emmy
Oh my
Awards,
God.
ladies and gentlemen, they had an opening number with every black performer in the business they could squeeze in singing at the Emmy Awards in whatever style they sang in. And then the entire evening consisted of white people winning Emmy Awards. So inclusion can be a little clumsy. Well, here you had both parts of the telecast hosted by black hosts, Leslie Odom Jr. and Audra McDonald. You had and you had numbers that were heavily performed by black performers. Most of the performers on stage were black this evening, and yet when it came to the winning of awards, I think only one or two went to people of color.
Two in the beginning. So the first award,
Mhm.
and
David Allen Greer.
right, and director. She said, no, I'm choreographer. She said, I was a little confused. I think
Yeah.
she said, "I'm brown, but Arabic." Egyptian something. She know what she's from, by the way. She's from So You Think You Can Dance, and she was a choreographer and a judge and all that.
Uh-huh.
So I did recognize her, and believe me, her work on Moulin Rouge, like, I mean, it's amazing. It's nonstop. But yes, I think I wrote two at one point, and then maybe there was three. So no, not a lot. One.
And that one wonderful moment from the past, Jennifer Holliday marked the 40th anniversary of Dreamgirls by once more proving she is still unbeatable at performing. And I am telling you, I am not going. I still remember that powerful performance from 4 decades ago. When we were kids, when Michael Bennett was still around, when a chorus line was still the hottest thing on earth and Dreamgirls was following it.
Well, we weren't exactly kids. We were like 22, at some place around there. But she was actually absolutely
22
amazing.
as a kid at this point, hon.
I know. She was
Yes.
amazing. And I thought that Cheryl Lee Ralph
Oh,
was
yes.
kind of fun and gracious.
I want to point out that one of my cats has come to say hello, and even she is in a tuxedo. This is Charlotte.
It's
Yes.
very, very
So-
nice. Good.
Good girl.
Whoever won for is it the BAC, the Coalition Award?
Yes. Mhm.
Why was he acting out of breath and surprised? He knew
I
he was
don't
going to get
understand
this.
how. Yes, he received a special Tony Award.
Right, and so they knew ahead of time.
Right. So they knew in advance. I will tell you this. There's one occasion when I went up at a Tony luncheon to receive an award on behalf of a theater company, and it was a monetary award. And I had a totally memorized speech because I knew I was going to be going up. It was all pre-planned. You know that you're going to be receiving this grant. So I went up to receive the grant. And as soon as I stepped up to the mic with the grant the grant certificate in my hand, I looked out across this room full of people at Sardi's, and it was Tony winner here, legend there, goddess there. I was sitting next to Cynthia Nixon at my table for the luncheon. It was that kind, and for one brief, horrifying second, my brain went blank, and I just went, ah. And then I went into what I had memorized. Thank God it clicked in. But so that may have been what happened. But he had to preach it, child. Hallelujah.
It
He
just
had
was
to preach.
I thought a lot going on, but
There
but
was a
there also
lot of
was a certain
preaching.
cuteness about it. But I just
Yeah.
thought he knew he was going to get this, so
Mhm.
it's not like he's totally surprised. Before we
Yeah.
get to the lead performance, I just want to make sure I didn't leave something out, because you and I are agreeing on way too much, which is
right.
very unusual. Lauren Patton, Burstein, Broadway commercials, no commercials. Christmas Carol. Just out of curiosity, how do you feel about A Christmas Carol winning all those awards?
Bravo.
It's
If it
very
deserved them, it
weird,
should
isn't
win.
it? I mean,
If it deserved them, it should win.
it was funny when I thought when Slave Play,
It did get raves for being a physically exquisite production.
and it did look lovely. When they showed the set from Slave Play, and all I saw was folding chairs, I kind of went, "Wait, is that just the demo picture?" Because I was going, "I hope that's not totally the set." Again, it bothered. By the way, Slave Play was supposed to be the big play, and I was so frustrated that I didn't get to see it. So just disappointing. I mean, no, I'm sorry. What I mean by that is that I didn't get to see it.
I wanted to see it.
was
Yeah,
supposed to be
exactly
huge,
here.
and I thought it was going to win everything. I just thought for sure.
Yep. Now for Aaron Tveit, he either was going to walk away from this evening with the most insulting loss,
Yes, it would have
or
been
the
bad.
weirdest win in
Weren't you
Tony
kind of
history.
holding your breath, kind of going, "Oh my God, what have they done?" Oh, to explain this, sorry, everyone, we need to explain this. He was the only nominee for Best Actor, and
Right.
you can still lose. So the rule is that 60%, I guess 61 or 60% of the voters have to check off the box and say, "Yes, I agree with him winning."
Let me just adjust that. Up until this year, the rule was if you have less than 3 competitors, you cannot have a category. That was the game they played up until this year. But now, because they simply had no one else who qualified for Best Lead Actor in a musical, they changed that and came up with the 60% for the one-person rule.
Okay.
Aaron is a gifted Broadway veteran.
He's been in
He was in Next to Normal.
Normal and Catch Me If You Can.
In Catch Me If You Can.
Right, I mean by rubbing my eye there. It's late.
Yes, he starred in Schmigadoon on streaming.
The movie Les Mis.
Movie of Les Mis. He is not only gorgeous, but everybody who works with him just loves this man. He's a true pro. And he handled it, I thought, with great class, the way he dealt with the situation. He won.
He did win.
Great.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
And cried. Right.
Then we switched over to CBS and we're stuck watching.
Wait. We got something. Wait. So
what do we leave out?
Best Actress in a Musical. It went to Tina Turner, and no, Tina Turner herself did not win. And this is terrible. I probably could look it up now, but it was very nice that she got it. And we have our play. I was shocked to see that the lead from hold on, because this is not fair that I'm not announcing who got what here. I was shocked Andrew Burnap got Inheritance. I honestly thought they were going to go with one of the movie stars. It is a tough role. He is not the good guy in Inheritance. He has a major role, but that was quite something to see. Mary Louise Parker, I did expect to see. Adrienne Warner is the person from Tina Turner. And the only reason, John, I don't want you to go away yet is because,
no, I've got one more thing to show too.
Is that we didn't really discuss Best Score.
What score?
We didn't really get to discuss Best Score. So, ladies and gentlemen, this year, the 3 musicals are really called jukebox musicals or whatever you want. In other words, Tina Turner had the Tina Turner songs. Jagged Little Pill had the Alanis Morissette songs. And boy, you keeping up with me. And Moulin Rouge had a million different artists, just like the movie, but even more. I think there are 70 or 77 songs. So therefore, wisely, Academy or the Tony Committee did
Mhm.
not nominate it for score.
Couldn't. You see, none of those songs were written for the
For
stage.
the stage.
There's
So
wait, I've got
yes,
a little historical background here. Little historical background. In 1974, best score went to Gigi,
even
and
though
right, even though a lot of it had been written for a movie decades before. So they then made a rule. You could only nominate for best score those songs which are written for the stage production, whether it premiered in New York or elsewhere, it had to be written for the stage.
same thing with Lion King could
Right,
only get the new songs that were written for the
right,
stage, which
right.
were good actually.
Yeah.
So what we had a problem this year, and I know this drives John insane. I'm going to agree with John to one point, and so there we go. So there, you would think there would be no best score. So what they did, and they have done this in the past, where
Mhm.
occasionally all the nominees for best musical, one of or two have actually been from a play, and I know that was recently, and I can't remember what it was, but there really Harry Potter wasn't the one, and it should
Right.
have been. But there's Two Governors was one of the times it happened, which is
Mhm.
actually a play. So this year they nominated 5 scores from plays. So they didn't have, I mean, and A Christmas Carol, I'm pretty sure, is the only one that had lyrics. There were actual songs and what do you call it? Not libretto, the background music. And so this year, the only nominees were from plays, which drove John absolutely insane. Before he goes off on that, I do want to say, well, why the heck? Why don't they now have a category? First of all, they should have just not had best score, or create a new category, and that is best score of a play, and then have to defend that, meaning to call it something different.
They didn't have best revival because, get this, to make sure that there wouldn't be a qualified production for best revival, because then they'd have to give it an award. They made the cutoff date the night before West Side Story opened. The
Did West Side
revival of
Story? West Side
Story,
Story opened, right?
right? But they
It made
made
no
the
sense.
cutoff date for eligibility one day before West Side Story opened.
So it would have been the only nominee.
Right. And they
Okay.
didn't, and because of what they were doing with Aaron, they didn't want to have to do the same thing while contending with, best musical revival. So
Which,
they
by
said
the
there
way,
were
would
no
have given them
musical
2
revivals.
actors. They would
So
have
they're
had 2
saying,
actors.
right? They're saying there were no musical revivals by playing this eligibility game. Oh, please. The Tony, way back in 1970, Company and Applause opened, within days of each other. And the Tony Committee went, oh, God, we can't do this. This is a Sondheim show. This is a smash hit with Lauren Bacall. How are we going to deal? So what they did was they arbitrarily moved the Tony eligibility date and divided Company into one season and Applause into the other. This way, each of them wound up winning a Tony Award.
Well, Company would have been the better choice of the 2.
Yeah, but this is so classic for the Tony Committee. They do this kind of shite. I do want to point out, when the Tonys went, the design Tonys for musicals went to Moulin Rouge, that was no accident. This is a visually spectacular production.
Stunning. Sonny, the minute you walk into the theater, what you're looking at right now, you see that, and that windmill is actually turning, and that elephant, he kind of moves a little bit, and there's people hanging. This is while you're walking into the theater.
Keep in mind, those are elements of the real Moulin Rouge in Paris.
If this hadn't won that, it would have been disgusting. They also have beautiful Paris views on stage. This is one of the best set designs I've seen on Broadway ever. Probably.
Yeah, no, it's a spectacular piece of set design, no question. Now then,
John, you're surprising me. John dear audience members, you have to realize that John, for weeks now, has been a bit down about the Tony Awards. So all night long, I've been bracing myself, going, there are good things. Okay.
All right. But then we had to sit and watch. Then we had to sit through a couple of minutes of Big Brother. I do not understand.
I like Big Brother.
How that show keeps running after all these years.
It's delicious and mean, and it's got quite a controversy going on right now, but that's not for
It
this show.
glorifies bad behavior. No wonder this country at once elected Donald Trump. It shows you just how low we can go. The opening number for the 9 p.m. segment with Leslie Odom, I thought was painfully uninspired.
Right. I mean, it was not fun. It was not
Whoever was in
memorable.
charge
What
of
was that? I couldn't even hear the lyrics.
No, I couldn't either, and I think it was merciful. Whoever was in charge of choreography for the CBS 9 to 11 p.m. segment of this show, really, what the hell were you thinking? The dance, the quality of dance that was put on stage was lousy. It was sub Vegas.
I didn't say it wasn't. It was right. It wasn't.
It was really
spectacular.
uninspired. David Byrne's number from American Utopia. I am really glad I haven't seen that, and now I'm determined that even if they were to pay me, I wouldn't go to see it.
It has a certain. I'm not. No. Okay. No. Let's try this again.
Yeah,
it is unique. It is on HBO for people who want to see it. So for people who don't want to go to the theater, because that now seems to be one of the things we're able to do, is to see both a musical on TV and it. I will give it this.
If you want to, yeah, go ahead.
It's an actual visually interesting show. And the choreography, which I'm surprised it wasn't nominated for choreography, that would have given them 4 nominees, is interesting. Like, that's all I want to say.
Was that an example that we saw tonight?
Remember, those are all people,
right? And was that an example of the choreography?
The whole show is like that, where they're all kind of moving around.
So it's a marching band choreography.
Kind of, yes.
It's band choreography. I have 32 high schools out here in New Jersey that can do a better job of that. So please, that was just, if that is Broadway quality, then there is no Broadway quality. Don't even get me started. The number for Moulin Rouge looked fabulous.
It did. Okay, I want to say this. Now, this is
made it look like a Broadway night.
Okay, now this is where it is rare that I have the opportunity to say this. I saw all 3 musicals and John did not. So I have a slight advantage here. I actually know what I'm talking about. Not that he doesn't. That's not what I mean. But I saw the material. And yes, the number from Moulin Rouge was great, but it is way better on stage, because what they did was they kind of shoved it in and they kind of took a little bit out. Of course, they have to do that. I am not knocking the number. What's the wall? You got to do. But if you go to see Moulin Rouge, and please do, it's even better. I'm disappointed. What they did is they showed the opening number, and I could see why they did that. I wish they had shown what I call the Lady Gaga number, where the Lady Gaga song, it's the beginning of Act 2, which is amazing. But you know what? Almost every number in that show, in fact, every number, and that doesn't happen very often, is amazing.
What a pity not a single one of those numbers was written for that show.
What'd you say? Wait, no, what'd you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, what a pity not a single one of those numbers was written for
that show. Well, they copied the movie, and the movie had nothing written for it either. It was all that style.
I am done with jukebox musicals. I'm done with it. I was done with it when Mamma Mia started this nonsense.
When I went to see Moulin Rouge the afternoon, it was a matinee, when I saw it, Baz Luhrmann was there. Isn't that cool? He was like 6 rows in front of us.
He was there the night I went to see La Boheme, his opera, his of it on Broadway.
Beautiful.
So God bless him. John Legend. If you're going to have John Legend take part in the Tonys, this was the way to do it. You had him join the cast of Ain't Too Proud, and they
were good. It's a great show.
What a great fit. What a great fit. That's how you bring a guest into the Tony Awards. And they said how supportive he's been of the reopening of the theater community.
Your cat is about to get into the Tony Awards.
I know.
But no, like into the Tony Awards.
Let me explain to everyone what's behind me if they don't know. Tony Awards get special playbills. This is the one for the fabulous 25th anniversary year back in the early 1970s. And as you can see, I have pardon me, Bill. I'm just going to go.
I have a few too.
Yeah, you've got one or two, but 1 or 2. Yeah, I got a whole mess of these suckers. So at the moment, I'm at the mercy of my cats, hoping that they will not absolutely destroy everything.
They're not
But
used to them being there. That's what's throwing
no,
them
no,
off.
but I left them plenty of room to move, so that they're well behaved about that
So
sort of
wait, back to I would like again to say to the audience,
thing.
John will probably not like it, but Ain't Too Proud, shockingly, meaning I also don't love jukebox musicals like Donna Summer and even the Cher one. They're okay, but Ain't Too Proud, amazing. And you know what they do with it? It's very unusual. There's too many songs. So what do? None of the songs are played in full. They just keep on moving, and it works totally. You got a taste of it tonight. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, otherwise known as Jersey Boys with a Suntan. Now Jake Gyllenhaal.
John, I do.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
Okay,
the same
people,
thing.
you
It's
are.
the same thing. When I remember when Great Adventure
First of all, Ain't Too
first
Proud is
opened.
better than the Jersey Boys as a
The
musical.
week that Great Adventure opened, my father took our family, and
I'd love to know where we're going here.
it was my first exposure to theme parks of that size. We used to go to amusement parks, but that was the first big theme park in this part of the country near New York City. And they had stage shows that were tributes to performers, and the kind of thing that's now these so-called Broadway musicals. And it's so
I'm
sub
going to get cast in one of these, or
it's
now because of you, I'm never going to get
sub
cast in one of
Vegas.
these.
My friend Karen Mason is one of the original stars of Mamma Mia, and she always says, "Please, John, don't pick on it too much. It did make a lot of people a lot of money," and that's true. And you know what? At least
Mamma Mia was fun.
it's a lot of fun. I
And
rewatched the movie recently and was amazed how much I did enjoy it. Then I saw the sequel, and that's another story altogether. But Jake Gyllenhaal, didn't he look marvelous in pink? That man is not afraid to get out there and do things that people might gasp at, but he looked great.
He was wearing pink. I guess I didn't notice.
Yes,
For some reason, I thought it was just a whitish kind of
oh
thing.
no, it was it was a most beautiful dusty pink. It was beautifully done.
He should have worn a tie, but that's my opinion.
Now, you know what? I thought the people who did not wear ties tonight, Aaron Tveit was another one, wore
But he had a layered thing.
Yes,
He had
but the outfits were so classy that they were wearing that it was forgivable to not wear a tie.
Of course, here I am with my tie loose, but it's also 11:30 at night.
Who the heck came up with that inclusivity number?
Wait, what are we talking about?
There was the number where they're talking about being inclusive, and they had a bit of tap dance, and they had a bit of singing,
okay, yes.
and they had a bit of dancing, and they had a bit of more. It was like a mess.
What? Okay, I'm sorry. So now I'm going to be careful. It was part of the coalition thing, and it was something they planned. And one of the themes. So now, by the way, now I'm saying what I've heard.
This is now the second shot that the coalition got at being on the show.
And what they feel, what the coalition feels, I hope I'm getting this right, and send your letters to John, is that they feel that for years, of course, the performers are being honored for their dance and their singing, and they have been. I do not feel, and I hope I would believe the Black community does not feel that they have been not included in a lot of awards, and they have done very, very well. But they feel that they have more to offer. They are correct. Yes. And that is what this thing had to present. So at first they're doing a kind of tap dance shuffle number, and then they went into a whole expression of that they have more to offer.
It's a shame that that had to be explained for me to get it. I'm not that thick. But let me put it this way.
And I'm not talking down to you, by the way.
No. I know you're not.
I also was looking at it going, all right, what are we going on here? But because I've seen so many interviews lately on the topic, I knew, therefore, that's what they were presenting.
There was so much preaching done on this subject tonight. You know how we got gay plays to Broadway? We wrote them, directed them, produced them, and got them there. We didn't wait to be given we didn't say, give us a place at the table. We took place at the table.
But maybe it was easier for, maybe it was just easier for us.
Oh, honey, excuse me. It was not easy for gays in theater. There was that constant thing of, well, gay is not going to sell tickets. Oh, yes, it does. In terms of gay themes,
now, that's
gay
for sure.
content. Think of Torch Song Trilogy and the money that show made during its run.
That was one of the first too. So now
Yeah.
you're right. I will take
Yeah.
that back.
All right.
Gays did not always do well. Now though, it's
There is
pretty
no more
open.
welcoming business in this country that I can think of. Certainly not the film business, certainly not the music business, certainly not any of the major corporations in corporate America than the American theater. The theater is incredibly welcoming to blacks, women, all ethnic groups, all sexual orientations. There is no place where people have a better chance of being welcomed than
It's
in
just
the theater. Now, if when
particularly
one
tough
of
the creative ends though.
one of the people said tonight that Latinos only make up 6% of the playwrights.
That was the writer of Inheritance when
Right.
he won.
Good. So write more. What do you want? Do you want us to write less so that your number looks bigger? Write more. Get more Latinas writing for the theater. Get more Latinos performing. Get more Latinos coming to the theater, because until they are in the audience, you are not going to have more Latin plays. Latinos are not a big part of the American theater audience, certainly not on Broadway. They don't come. They're not there. And you can blame it on ticket prices. You can blame it on the content. But even, when someone like John Leguizamo comes to Broadway, he can only manage brief runs because there's only so much of an audience. You know what? Show up. You want a place at the table? Show up.
Get on your feet did well for a while. That one held on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, that's what they're saying is that they're not, maybe there'll be just one. I can't think of a play, so please forgive me. But big, huge musical, and they're probably right about this, and they're lucky if maybe there's one black producer or one designer or something like that.
Start designing and start producing. Start doing it. You don't suddenly have black designers because white producers hire them. White producers hire them because they're there and they do it. Listen. No one gave Jeffrey Holder a place at the table. He demanded it with
who Jeffrey Holder is. I know it's
director and choreographer of The Wiz.
Of The Wiz, right?
Of The Wiz. And
to make sure.
There's something that our director told us in college. Don't wait for someone to hand you the stage. Take stage. He told us, take stage. And you know what? You guys, you groups want to be here? Please come on in. Take stage. There is no racial barrier. And anyone who says there is looking at other businesses, because it's not in the theater. It's not. It's not. We have more blacks in major positions. There aren't that many black producers. That is true. Well, start producing, guys. Start raising the money. That's what a producer does. A producer raises a couple of $1 million to make a show possible. Right now, there are a lot more black plays coming to Broadway this year.
Huge amount this year. Huge amount. It's nonstop. In fact, the only plays I know of right now coming up are all black themed. Every one of them. So
the only ones that have opened so far since the pandemic began to lift here have been black plays. Now, the number moving on, which is from the wonderful Sunday in the Park with George.
I'm smiling. Wait, hold on. I need my little sign because I know where this is going to go.
It was the first of several stellar duets that they kept pushing all through the evening. If you're going to have that song performed, why have it done by those two performers? It was uninspired. And that was true of the other duets that were done until they got to the end of the telecast. And then they reunited great performers from Wicked, from Rent. That made sense. Getting Dear Evan Hansen suddenly turning into, George Surratt, he couldn't.
He sang it beautifully. What kind of struck me was that he was smiling. And why am I reacting that way? Is technically in that number, he shouldn't be smiling.
Right.
But he did sing it beautifully. And the other day, I'm going to sound very macho right now, but I do go to the gym 6 days a week and I'm trained 3 days a week. And my trainer happens to be an actor. And we were both talking about Dear Evan Hansen. I think he agreed with you that he should not have been cast in the film. He's too old. And we were
And
both
by
talking
the
about
way,
what we could do with Aaron Platt. Aaron Platt. Platt. What's his first name?
Ben Platt.
Ben Platt. And one of
By
the
the way,
things we came up with.
Mr. G has joined us with a comment. Be careful, John. You are starting to sound like a bootstrap economic conservative. Oh dear. Okay, we know you meant starting, Mr. G. Yes, no problem. That was easy to fix.
Moving on.
Yes.
So Ben Platt, we had said, he should consider doing that role. Not now because the show's been done a little too often. We need to slow that down. But we're trying to find roles for Ben Platt. And so there he was actually doing that number, which I was amused about. And he sang it beautifully. He is a great singer. I just kind of wanted to go, why are you smiling? It's not supposed to be a smiling song.
It seemed to be a strange fit.
Yes.
And by the way, anyone else out there who is watching, your questions and comments are definitely welcome. Join in the discussion. If you disagreement and agreement are both welcome here. So please feel free to share your points of view. Now, on the other hand, speaking of a duet that I thought worked in very beautifully from a musical point of view, was Leslie Odom singing Beautiful City with help name.
Oh, Josh Groban.
Josh Groban. The number was beautiful, and
it's not from a Broadway musical. It's from the movie.
Yes, it is. But Godspell, it's Stephen Schwartz. It's forgiven.
Whatever. And it was in my wedding, by the way.
It was beautifully sung. It was beautifully sung. But the setup was so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
There was just years ago, the Tony Awards were always done by one Broadway producer and his assistant who used to write the scripts, and they were silly, just silly. There was the setups were often silly in those Tony Awards. There was too much. They had people just say things to one another that were so scripted and so unspontaneous, and it looked silly. Well, that's what it was like here tonight with coming back from commercials. Now, be sure that when we get back on the air that you talk about, we're back on the air now. Oh, okay, bye. Boom. Come on. We know that this is nonsense. Why? It's a long enough show. We didn't need the additions. The in memoriam.
Wait, stop. You're skipping. I want to do Jagged Little Pill. When Jagged Little Pill went on, first of all, did you know? You know this. Stop it.
Jagged Little Pill will never be my musical. Never.
Okay. The lead girl, I need the name. Oh, I have it here. Celia Rose Gooding, nominated for lead supporting actress. Did you know who she is? If you don't, just say, "Oh, I don't know, Bill." Please inform me.
I don't. Please inform me.
Her mother is LaShawne's. And LaShawn, and the story gets a little better. When 9/11 happened, LaShawne's husband was killed. He was on one of the top floors in an investment of some kind, and we lost him. She was pregnant with a child. Tonight, her daughter, Tony winner LaShawne's daughter, was a nominee tonight, and she's very, very good. I did not want her to win. I wanted the person who won to win. I had to say that. I didn't want her to win. I wanted the other person to win, but isn't that there's a very nice little circle there. Nobody told
I love it.
I did hear about it. I knew 9/11. I know about everything about 9/11, and I thought that was lovely.
When it's in families. I love when those legacies.
And it's beautiful, and she's very, very good. So this isn't somebody who got the job because she's related to somebody. She's excellent. What I wanted to say about Jagged Little Pill is you knew the Tony was going to go to Patton, and yet you don't feature her whatsoever. And she's in a show-stopping number. You don't feature her. And John, did it seem like it was lip synced?
I was wondering the same thing.
Was it delay or was it lip sync? Because there was none of that all night long.
Keep in mind, each of the numbers was
pre-recorded, right?
Pre-recorded at its theater. And you knew that Moulin Rouge was pre-recorded because it was raining. It was
Yes, I
raining.
saw that. It was raining outside. Yes, so they obviously did that.
And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the weather in New York is glorious and pristine and clean. So there was not a drop falling. That had to be last night.
Right. It didn't bother me. It's just that I thought, but you don't, I thought not the bad. And the number wasn't bad. And it's fun that they make fun of the is an ironic thing. It's just that your Tony winner isn't featured. And so I'm beginning to fear what we talked about before.
Could this have something to do with the controversy?
That's what I'm leading up to.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's just a horrible controversy involving Jagged Little Pill right now, that they forced her to go on and perform, that the stage manager and the producers coerced her.
Being
is it Lauren Patton herself or
right.
one of the yes. To continue performing even though she needed urgent surgery, vaginal surgery, and they refused. They told her, all kinds of reasons, don't you dare do this. And it's ugly, because also apparently there's someone in the cast who is a equity executive at Equity who is involved in this in a way that doesn't look good.
He's resigning tonight. Yeah. He said, "I'm not doing the show after the Tony Awards anymore."
There's a lot of nastiness.
I don't know all the details. I don't know. We have all the details.
You know what? I don't think anyone's got all of them yet, but this is going, as this thing susses out. That's why I'm reluctant to say anything until I know more. But I think that's probably contributing to the discomfort that you saw in the way they depicted things.
Memoriam.
In Memoriam. Oh my God. The sheer size of
there's a lot. Well, it is old, 18 months, but the amount of people who died of COVID is huge.
When that curtain came down
with all the names,
all those names, and when you saw some of the names that you could barely glimpse on the curtain when the camera went close, Jacques D'Amboise. Jacques D'Amboise, ladies and gentlemen, was one of the 7 brothers with the 7 brides in the classic MGM film. He is a dance legend. His son is a dance legend. His daughter is a Broadway dance legend. And yet he was not included in the, photo lineup. He was one of those names on the wall.
They didn't do the writer of Boys in the Band.
Yeah, but he was one of the names on the wall. You could
his name on the wall.
It's what a year from hell we have all been through. Oh my God.
Nice songs though. They did nice. It was the beautiful song. And Brian Stokes Mitchell doing the thing that he would, Brian Stokes Mitchell would, during the pandemic, he would lean out the window of his apartment,
in order to work his lungs.
Everybody clapping every night at 7 p.m. Well, he would lean out his window after the clapping and the hitting of the pots and pans, and he would sing The Impossible Dream. And he can sing The Impossible Dream.
Well, he is the last person to play Don Quixote on Broadway. So yeah.
And so they had him do it tonight, which is really apropos. So it was very nice.
The funny thing is, the reason he did it was he said it was to rebuild and to clear his lungs, because he had COVID when he started doing it. And he said that as my voice got better, I could feel it night after night as the power came back. It was great to see Senator Chuck Schumer there and to have the theater community make a very clearly political statement as to where they stand. Because he took a very clear stand in favor of theater by making sure all that money was provided to get shows to reopen. So 3 cheers for Senator Schumer.
And then he took off his mask to show you the mask. And I went,
yes,
don't do that. They're going to accuse you of taking off your mask. I bet they're going to accuse him of taking off his mask.
I think under the circumstances, it was workable. But of course, Fox.
The New York Post will go after him for taking off his mask.
And the New York Post, yes. Those who have taken the shilling of Rupert Murdoch will obey their master like all rats do. Cheetah.
Make sure you say who you're talking about.
Cheetah Rivera came out looking amazing and pointing out that it's been over 60 years since she stood on that stage and originated the role of Anita in the original West Side
Story. She really
Story.
stole it from, her and, I don't know, my English is right. She and Andrew Lloyd Webber, in case you didn't see it, came out together. These are 2 huge stars. And in many ways, you would consider Andrew Lloyd Webber the bigger star, meaning he has the most money and all these musicals. That isn't quite what happened.
She stole it.
They all
And
stood up and went nuts.
I actually loved the way he handled it, because he said, when I was a very young teenager, I always hoped that one day I would get to meet Cheetah
When I
Rivera.
was 12,
That was
yes,
cute. Yeah, that
that
was
was
cute.
mean.
Oh, but you know what? She was 17 at the time. She was
No, she was not.
no, but she was
Oh,
she
okay. I
was
said,
young. She was young. When she did Anita, she was a young girl. The I'm those duets, oy vey.
well, we
And
didn't
then
get to really, unfortunately, we didn't get to see the duets, but they
right.
looked good.
No, I'm talking about
And
the
I'll watch
duets
them
they
now.
interspersed through the show. They
Oh,
were
the other
just
ones, yeah,
I
not
mean,
so much.
I love Andrew Reynolds. I love Titus Burgess. I love them. But the two of them doing a love song written for a straight couple
What
was
was it?
kind of
Because I was
silly.
getting ready for this. I was
It
making
takes
myself
two.
beautiful. It
It
takes
takes
time.
two
Was that what they sang?
from
Okay.
Into the Woods. Yeah. And while that could be cute, the two of them were not a very good vocal blend. They may be friends for all I know. They exchanged a kiss at the end, but I didn't think it made much sense. It didn't add anything to the number. I remember when someone coming out to do a guest number on the Tonys would be Dorothy Loudon coming out and doing Broadway Baby or Vodka, and the audience loses its mind. There was none of that sense of fun tonight. I grant you, this hasn't been a year for a sense of fun. Um, no one, I think, was surprised by Best Play, Inheritance.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, no, no, no,
Do you
no,
think
no,
it was a
no.
big
I
surprise?
think, and I did see it, and it was my choice, but I didn't see any of the other nominees because
Mhm.
everything got closed down. But no, I think a lot of, well, actually, there's two things I want to say. A lot of push was for Slave Play. And I kept saying to my husband, I said, damn it, I wish we could at least have seen this. I thought it was
Uh-huh.
going to win a lot. It got 0, which was
Yep.
actually shocking. And I just, because I thought of it now, what I always do, and especially now that we're doing this little show, is I wanted to read the papers and see who are they predicting. John, I sent you who I was thought was going to win the musicals. I won every one of them.
You did
I
an
got
amazing
100%.
job. I have it here in print. He really
I
got
was one on the money, but the reason I sent that to him is I wanted him. He asked, the way we set this up is sometimes we want to know what pictures to put up, and I said, "Here's who I think is going to win." But I got the papers, and I was interested to see who they thought was going to win. Every year they do this. The New York Times usually has a full page thing with here's who should win and who's not. John, nothing. Nothing in the Times, nothing in the Post, I didn't get the Daily News, nothing in Newsday. I think the New York Post, maybe they had something a couple days ago, 5 of the nominees, something. What the hell? Nobody gave a shit this year.
Did you just say that?
I gave a shit.
Because
Because
you know why? There was no shit to give a shit about. This was not a season. The season didn't happen. And they gave the Tony Awards to the one half a season that happened over a year ago. That's
Year and a half.
nonsensical. That's nonsensical. They should have combined that season with the season that is about to restart.
Well, I think what are the now I'm again, this is you're not being lectured. You're not being lectured.
I know.
What are the 2 functions of the Tony Awards? There's 2.
2 functions: to honor what has been accomplished and to publicize it.
Which is mainly to
sell tickets,
make money. Okay. Yeah. So the Tony Awards tonight should have done that. So they put everything on Paramount TV, which nobody saw.
So Moulin Rouge, which was selling well before the pandemic, is going to sell well after the pandemic.
Continue to sell. Correct.
And not a thing has been done for any of the shows that were muddling by.
Because they weren't. What are we dealing with now? What are we dealing with? Sorry, give me something.
Jagged Little Pill was not a sellout.
Oh, but it was doing okay. I can't speak for the numbers on that. So, but now there's going to be a problem because of whatever controversy is going on in there. And it is good, by the way. It's Moulin Rouge is Moulin Rouge is a 10. Jagged Little Pill is a 7, and Tina Turner is a 6.
The King and
my opinion
is a 10.
That's a 10. You don't like it? I said it's a 10.
Crazy for You is a 10.
Oh no.
Moulin Rouge
It's a
is
10.
a spectacle.
But you
A
didn't see it.
spectacle is limited
You did not see it.
with reused songs
You did not
that have
see it.
been reused before.
You did not see it.
Why would I? I like to go see original musicals and revivals of original musicals. I don't like to go to see
Just know I am going to
potpourris.
be cast in this thing and you're not going to come. I just know that I'm
If
finally going
I
to get my
abs,
role.
if you're cast in it, I'll go see it. Of
When I'm
course.
cast, John, not in Moulin Rouge, though. I don't think I'll get cast as more. Although would like to.
You never know.
You're right.
You never
I could
know. You
probably
and
pull
Danny
off.
Burston are pretty much the same age.
I think he's younger,
Not by much.
but and
Because you and Becca Luker are about the same age, because Becca's our age.
Oh.
So he's not that far off. But
I'm about to name other fabulous looking
never
stars.
be deceived by hair dye. Danny may be a little older than you think.
How lovely, by the way, and how touching. I know we're going back to this was his 7th nomination.
Yeah.
And every year he would bring his wife, the famous
Rebecca Luker,
Tony nominee, a wonderful singer. Tonight, she passed away from MS in December as he was recovering from COVID. No, ALS, I'm sorry. As he was recovering from serious COVID, and tonight he wins without her. So it was kind of touching, but he held up beautifully.
He is a class act in every way, shape, form, and dimension. So rather than go on forever, final thoughts. Let's do some final thoughts.
You can go first because I made sure I wanted to cover what I would love to, by the way, one day I want one of the I would love a performer to get up and not thank God and instead go, I'm an atheist and therefore I don't care about God. Now, I'm not anti-thanking God. It's just it would be funny to actually see somebody get up there and go, I don't thank God at all.
I always want to tell one of these people, if you think God had anything to do with this,
he does.
No, God has more important things to worry about than who wins a Fakakta award.
I don't think it'll come out of my mouth when I win, but I will be thanking him. So, but not on the stage. But isn't it funny? Wouldn't it be funny if somebody
God is him? Oh, we're going to do another discussion.
So go on. I just want to say that.
No genitalia.
Your final thoughts. What you want to say?
My final thoughts. Considering it was a lousy season,
wasn't a horrible season. Really. It had stuff.
It had some stuff.
Inheritance was amazing. The end of Act 1 of Inheritance it's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm not saying there wasn't some good theater here, and I'm certainly not saying Moulin Rouge and Inheritance don't deserve to win. I'm glad to see two solid things won. I just think it was how the hell do you get 4 and nearly a half hours out of a non-season? Just sloppy. That's all. I think it was sloppy. And the evening was needlessly prolonged. Needlessly.
As somebody who has, go, you finish.
Yeah, and finally, Bernadette Peters didn't sing. Shut up. They just they got that wrong.
Didn't she look great, by the way? And so did Cheetah. It's like, did they have work done? If they did, it's amazing.
Oh, honey, Cheetah. If the pyramids could talk, yes, she's but she did look marvelous, and God knows you cannot fake those gorgeous figures. They look great. God bless both of them.
As a person who absolutely loves award shows and who wants to win one day, the pandemic, has really stopped everything. And in my own life, technically lost my job and lost a body part to cancer. And it has been sucky, but not. And here we are. And so I was really happy and look forward to the Tonys greatly. So I'm glad it did happen. Mm-hmm. I hope that people are encouraged to see the shows that did win. What is playing. I think a Soldier Story is done, right? And I think Inheritance is done. I don't think they're coming. I think only the musicals are left, right? So hopefully they'll see them. Yes, I look forward to next year. Play will be interesting. We'll just shut up for now on that topic.
And
but
who knows? One of these may be waiting for you, sir.
Oh, it would be. From your mouth to God's ears.
Yes, as we say. We're going to be doing, I have a speaking engagement on Long Island on Thursday. So instead of our usual Thursday episode, we're going to be doing a Tuesday live stream. It's going to be Remembering Carol Channing, and that will be this Tuesday, September It says October on there. Oh, Lord. September 24th at 7 p.m. So we hope that you can join us.
And ladies and gentlemen, this will be the infamous episode where something is going to be revealed about, and I'm smiling because it is pretty freaking amazing. And it is not something, it isn't like we're going to give, it is not something we're going to give you like a musical number that you've never seen. There is a little something about her, and we hinted about this in our first show about Julie Andrews. There is something about Carol Channing that you are going to want to see. You will not be disappointed.
Share a story that she never told on stage.
You're still going to want to hear the juicy little.
Oh yeah, we'll be having some fun with that. I want to wish everyone a wonderful night. Please stay safe, stay well, so that we can all get back to the theater and do it as safely and joyously as possible.
Didn't you hate that everybody had masks on? These poor nominees. You're an actor and you can't be seen because you have the darn mask on. Oh, it was so annoying. Go on.
You know what? I'd rather better a mask than to be intubated. You know,
they were healthy, but yes, I know. But goodbye.
Yeah, we can't wait for this to be over. But this is over now. This talk. Take care, everyone. Good night.